Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. And thank you so much for tuning into the Convo presented by Leadership Indianapolis. I am Ebony Chappelle. I am Director of Programs and Communication at Leadership Indianapolis, and so excited to be hopping on here again this month with another great conversation with a local leader. For those of you that are unfamiliar, the Convo is a monthly series that we do to talk to leaders in the community, get to know them, get to know about the work they're doing and the leadership lessons that inspire them and help to guide the way that they move in our city. So today I'm so excited to be talking with Lesley Weidenbener. Lesley is an editor at the Indianapolis Business Journal. For those of you that know, this is one of the premier publications in our city where you go to find out about what's happening in the business world, civic world, etc. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and welcome Lesley to the stream. Hi, Lesley. How are you this
Hi,
afternoon?
Ebony. Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell the people a little bit about yourself and the work you do at IBJ.
Well, Ebony, I've actually been in journalism my entire career, and I've been at IBJ for a little more than 6 years, 6.5 years. I've been the editor for just over a year. But my background really is in politics. I covered Indiana state government for more than 2 decades for a couple of different publications. Made the switch over to IBJ and thought that I would miss all that politics, and I don't at all. And actually,
I
when I
wonder
found,
why.
yeah, exactly, right. I thought I'd want to go over to the state house all the time, and I have barely been there. So, but the switch to IBJ has been great. We it turns out that covering business is very much like covering politics. Just
Hmm.
like politics affects everything you do, business affects everything you do. So even though we IBJ covers business, we define that really broadly. And so what we do here is we cover real estate, we cover politics, we cover technology, economic development, the economy, healthcare. I mean, you name it, we cover it as long as it's not crime and
Yeah.
sports games. So it's been a great change.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So I want to touch in on that point around you mentioned that politics affects every aspect of our life, business does as well. And there's so much happening all the time, so much to keep up with. And as civic leaders, we know that it's important to stay current, stay abreast of what's happening in our community. What tips do you have for civic leaders, especially those that may be a little bogged down by the news cycle that never ends? What tips do you have for staying current and staying up to date with what's happening in your local community?
Well, of course, I'm going to suggest that everybody read the IBJ. But what I really think is that what most people need is to have at least two or three new news sources that they use on a regular basis, because
Okay.
it's super important to get a variety of opinions. And I think one of the hardest things now is that a lot of news media talks to their own people. So the audience and the media tend to be in sync. We see that a lot on cable news. So it's really important to have a diversity of places where you go to get your news.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also important for you to figure out what's the best way for you to receive that news. So maybe you're a person who's on email all day long. So it's really good to get a lot of email newsletters at
Mm.
IBJ and at all the other news organizations. We make it really easy. We send a lot of emails. And so you can use that to get your information. It may be that you're a podcast person, that your commute into work is the way that you can consume news, or maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
through listening to WFYI and the radio. Or maybe you're a person who wants to pick up things from social media, but then you got to follow the link. You got to read the actual story. And
Not
so
just the headline.
not just the headlines. And that's hard sometimes. I mean, I really do
Mm-hmm.
get that. It's really hard sometimes, but it's very important. So for leaders, I think it's especially important to look for news in lots of different places, even though that can be a little burdensome, but to get news from a lot of different places so that you can get a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah, I think that that is excellent advice. I follow something similarly myself. So I know that there are points in the day where I'm multitasking. So that's podcast time. And when I'm on the computer, there are certain newsletters that I look forward to and save them for that special day of the week that I can read them and digest everything that I want to get. But yeah, having that diversity of thought is extremely important. And I want to touch on, I know that the IBJ has made it a priority to bring in more diverse voices into the publication. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
We're trying really hard on that front. Indianapolis is a diverse community. Central Indiana is a diverse place, diverse in terms of culture, race, religion, age, and just sort of what people believe in. So, and we really need to make sure that we are representing all of those voices in IBJ. And sometimes that's hard. We don't have a very big staff, and we're not nearly as diverse on our staff as we would like to be. So what we've really tried to do, in addition to trying to recruit as many people as we can who are diverse, is we've really tried to diversify our columnists. So if you look at our forefront issue, which is a community-based public policy and politics publication that comes out once a month, there's a lot of diversity in there. We've got columns on workplace issues where we try to get some diversity. We have a lot of awards programs. We try very hard to make sure that we are looking at all parts of the community, and we bring in people from the outside to help us so that we are not stuck in our own bubble. I think we all know how easy it is to get stuck in our own bubble, and it's like the worst place to be. Yeah. So we're really trying hard to bring in more diverse voices so that they can influence what we're doing.
Excellent, excellent. And to that point about awards programs, you have something really exciting happening later on this week on Friday. Actually, you're going to announce the very coveted IBJ 40 under 40.
We are.
Yes, yes. So I want to have you talk a little bit about that awards program as well as a new one, the Indiana 250 or 250. You'll help me with the branding since this is new. But yeah, tell us about that.
So 40 under 40 will be announced this Friday. We have a breakfast every year where we announce the honorees and we read a little bit about them, and the honorees get a plaque. It's one of my favorite events of the year. 40 under 40 is just a fantastic event because these are people who are on their way up. They are movers and shakers in the community already, but they're usually not CEOs. Sometimes they are, but they're usually not CEOs yet. They're on the rise, and they are exciting, fun people to talk to. We've already had a photo shoot with everyone. We had a video shoot, and I've been watching a bunch of the videos, and just a fantastic class. And everybody can see that by about 10 a.m. on Friday. That list will go live on IBJ. And we're very excited about it. This is the 30th anniversary of 40 under 40. And actually, if you go to our LinkedIn page, you can see we've been doing one post a day for 30 days. Someone from each class over the years, their picture then, their picture now, and where they were, and then doing a list of everyone who was a 40 under 40 at one point or another. And I got to tell you, there are some of our top civic leaders were 40 under 40s at one point or another.
Wow, that is so cool, especially being able to go back down memory lane and see, where are they now, sort of thing. That is
just
really,
seeing
really
the
cool.
fashion alone from 25 years ago is
that
pretty
is a
humorous.
trip. That's a trip, and to see some of it come back, a little
Absolutely.
bit recycle is cool as well. So what about the Indiana 250?
So Indiana 250 is new. This is a brand new program, and so we're still trying to figure it all out. But we're taking nominations through Friday for Indiana 250. This is a statewide honor, which is normally we do things that are more central Indiana focused, but we're actually doing this as IBJ Media Company. So IBJ Media owns IBJ, the Indianapolis Business Journal, but also Inside Indiana Business and the Indiana Lawyer. And both of those organizations are statewide news organizations. So we're looking for 250 people who are the most influential in the state. And we're doing that across a lot of categories. So traditional things you would think of like healthcare, manufacturing, technology, but also the arts, culture, and so many other areas. And so we're looking for people who are right in this moment, making a difference, making an impact, and having a big influence. We're not looking for those folks who maybe were the big movers and shakers 20 years ago. We're looking for people who are in this moment, highly influential. And so we're taking nominations, but we'll also be pulling in from our own experiences. We'll be pulling in people.
Excellent, excellent. I'm really excited to see how that comes about. because it's those people that are the boots on the ground, that really help to make change happen on that level. It's really, really exciting and such a cool thing to have them be honored and recognized in that way.
Yeah, we're going to do it every year. So it's not, it'll be some of those people will stay on the list from year to year. Some of them are going to get bumped off and we're going to bring new people
Hmm.
on. So we
Yeah.
think it's going to be a lot of fun every year, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous about trying to put the list together. I think it's going to be very difficult.
I'm sure, especially when you think about statewide and all the people that have had impact, especially over the past couple of years, some of the amazing, amazing things we've seen happen in community and on that grassroots level. I'm sure it's gonna be it's gonna be tough trying to figure out, what that list looks like, but I'm sure you guys will have no
Yeah,
problem.
we're going to be relying on our Inside Indiana business colleagues to help us out, the Indiana lawyer colleagues to help us out. And then we're reaching out into some of these communities too to find out who folks in the communities think are really important. And then that list will come
Hmm.
out it'll be this summer. I believe it's July that we'll actually be releasing the list. And there'll also be a book that profiles everybody so people can keep that on their shelf for
Hmm.
reference.
Excellent, excellent. So, wrapping up, this has been such a great conversation, Lesley. I appreciate you. Um, as an editor, that is a really crucial leadership position to be in, at a publication. What are the leadership lessons that have helped define you and guide you, along your journey?
I've been so lucky, Ebony, to have really great editors in my past who have really helped me to become, I think, a better leader. Although, I mean, it is a journey and I'm learning all the time. But I think one of the most important things is that you just have to believe in your people and find ways to support the people who work for you. And it's interesting because when you say that about being a leader, I think of us as covering leaders. I don't really think of us as leaders, but
Hmm.
where we are able to provide leadership is when we rely on our people to provide us with strength and to provide us with information, and then to let them have freedom to go out and do the things they're really good at. Because the truth is, the people who work for me are better journalists than I am. And I'm lucky enough to get to lead them. And that's what I have to remind myself every day, is that really they're the experts.
Yeah, yeah, that is such a great, great way to think about it. Thinking of your people as those leaders on their own, and your job is to kind of, help support their work and what it is that they're doing. Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you again, Lesley, for talking with me today. Definitely appreciate your time and your insights. And this has just been a great conversation.
Ebony, I appreciate it so much. I love that you're doing this series. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, to this episode of The Convo. You can learn more about Lesley and the IBJ, at ibj.com. And you can learn more about the work that Leadership Indianapolis is doing at leadershipindianapolis.com. We have some really great events planned this year. We're finally back in person, and I couldn't be more excited. So be sure to check out leadershipindianapolis.com for more information on that. As always, have a great afternoon, you all. Take care.